So one leg is economy, another is ecology, and another is society. So our all resource structure, I mean, we are living within a particular resource structure. So our resource structure comprised of these three things. One is economy, another is ecology, and another is society. And these three aspects are so vast, so vast. You cannot, I mean, you cannot make it grasp in one life, you can say. Their knowledge, I mean, in every aspect, so many things are there, so many aspects are there. So our discussion will be mostly concentrated around economy and somewhat around ecology, because in recent economical approaches, without ecology, we cannot think of economy. Society, of course, economy is a social science, so somewhat it deals with society also. So if anybody asks that why we need to do economic analysis at all, why we need to evaluate economics of a particular intervention or a particular product or a particular work or a particular activities, why economic analysis is required? Can anybody just give a hint? Please.
To interpret a result or
to interpret result. Okay, then result for what?
To do the best for the scientific or some.
Okay, of a scientific experiment like that. Other things?
The decision.
Your voice is not clear, Miss Pooja. One Biswajit is there.
Evaluate profit and loss from a certain enterprise.
Okay, profit and loss from certain enterprise. Very good. Then any other aspect? Why we do economic analysis? Why we do? Okay, let me clear it. You know, in our universe, our resources are limited. Okay, our resources are limited. Whatever resources we are having, we have to live with it. We have to use it judiciously, and we have to get our products or service. So suppose in your pocket, you are having now 500 rupees and you are going somewhere. So with that 500 rupees, you have to use it judiciously so that you can give fare, bus fare or train fare. You can have a meal, you can have a tea, you can have a tiffin. So that you have to use it judiciously, very judiciously, because you are having scarce resources. Okay, so if you are having scarce resources, then you have to use it judiciously, because every resources are having different uses. That same 500 rupees, you can use it for different purposes. Okay, so same resources can have different uses. So you have to use all resources very judiciously. Okay, suppose you are investing. Suppose a farmer is investing something on his land improvement. Okay. Then to purchase animal bullocks, a pair of bullocks, or a cow, or he has to purchase some fertilizers, and some fertilizers and any other input, seeds, and he's having 10,000 rupees in his pocket. So with his 10,000 rupees, he has to manage everything for that particular season. So he has to judiciously think over it and use it. And one more thing is that in which way he will use it, that is giving highest returns. Okay. Suppose 2-3 enterprises are there which are giving highest returns only. He has to invest on that enterprises. Okay. The same thing, if we want to define economics, it is coming plurality of ends or objectives, means particular resources have different uses. Then scarce means when resources are limited, even if you are having 1 crore rupees, that will also end someday. For a few days, few months, or few years, you can live with it. But after that, if you are doing nothing, if you do not earn anything, then that will also exhaust. So our resources are limited, and all resources are having different kind of uses. With the same resources, we can get different things. So you have to use judiciously from here where we will get maximum returns. That is economics, and that's why study of economics is very essential. And one more thing, I forgot to tell that economics is a social science, branch of social science. We are keeping it in science, but it is a study of social aspect, and that social aspect means it is dealing with what? It is dealing with human behavior, because economic ability, using that skill to use, or skill, suppose 2 businessmen, if you offer same amount of money to 2 businessmen, they will use it differently and they will earn differently, they will get profit differently. So it's a study of human behavior only, a human, how one person will behave, that economics can define it, explain it, or explore it. So one aspect in economics, main aspect is budgeting. You know budgeting? What is budget? Can anybody tell what is budget? What is plan? What is farm plan? What is farm plan and what is budget? Farm budget.
So simply budget means upcoming financial year expected income or expected expenditure.
Very good. Very good.
And farm planning.
Yeah.
Farm planning, simple. If we have a farm, what we should have to use on that, how to use the resources and get the maximum profit.
Very
how to
good.
Use that land.
Yeah. That's right. That's right. So farm plan is a plan of activity. I mean, a line of activity that is decided in advance, for a particular period of time. Suppose for a season or for a agriculture year, like that, or for 5 years. So farm plan means if you decide all your activities of a farm in advance for a particular time period, then it is called farm plan. And budget, he told already that it is expected expenditure and income. Means what we are investing, what we have invested, or what we are going to invest, or and what we will get by investing something. So that is budgeting. That means when your farm plan, when you will express it in monetary terms with all your resources, then it is called farm budget. There are 3 types of budgeting. One is partial budgeting. Another is enterprise budgeting, and last one is complete farm budgeting. So can anybody give what is partial budgeting, what is enterprise budgeting, and what is complete farm budgeting? Partial, enterprise, and complete.
For partial budgeting, we do for this for minor modifications.
Your voice is
Budget.
disturbing, Miss Pooja. I'm not getting your voice.
Hello.
You check your voice.
I'm audible, sir.
Yeah, now audible.
Hello?
Yeah.
So partial budgeting we do when we do some modification in the farm activities.
Okay.
So for that we do this partial budgeting.
Okay. Can you give example?
If we change the irrigation pattern, so from sprinkler to the drip irrigation system.
Very good, very good, very good. That's right. Then enterprise budget.
This enterprise budgeting is done only for like specific enterprise, like for one head of livestock or per hectare of land of crop.
Okay.
And this complete farm budgeting is done for entire farm.
Okay. So which one is best?
So best in based on
Among these 3, which one is best? Okay, I will come one by one. You see, just partial budgeting is you are just comparing by keeping in mind minor changes. Suppose a particular activity. For example, different dosage of fertilizer, and suppose some new chemical, new pesticide you are using, or you want to purchase some implement. So to decide about that, you have to do partial budgeting. Then here I have mentioned debit because this term will come afterwards. Can anybody tell what is debit? Debit means you know, na?
It's a paid amount towards the bank or anywhere we can take the loans.
Excuse me, sir. Your mic is off already. You are not audible, sir.
Hello, sir. You are not audible, sir. Your mic is off.
Now it is audible.
Yes, sir. It's fine.
So debit is I was giving example that in partial budgeting by changing a particular operation, farm operation, what extra cost you are adding to that cost of cultivation. That means an extra expenditure. So you have to either you have to purchase that one. Suppose extra dose of fertilizer if you are applying, then that extra dose of fertilizer you have to purchase, or any new machine you are introducing to that cultivation practices. So that new machine you have to purchase. So extra cost you are adding, and sometime by using that fertilizer or by changing that practices, your return can be reduced. So if your return reduced from your earlier one, then that is also a cost. So that will be comes under debit. In left column you have to calculate debit, all the debit, and in right column you have to calculate all the credits. I will see. I will give example. Cost. That means it is deposition only. Deposit. Credit means deposit. If you are depositing money in bank account, so in credit column your it will be recorded. So the decrease in cost due to suppose by using a particular kind of chemicals, your insect pest population will get reduced and your production will be enhanced. So you will get extra returns. So that will also comes under credit. Why connection is getting off frequently? Yeah. So if you are giving in split doses, then your lever input will be extra. And if we can assume that for every application, if you spend 100 rupees, then this 300 rupees will be extra. That means cost in debit column. 300 rupees will be your extra expenditure. And by giving split doses, you know that instead of single doses, if you use your nitrogenous fertilizer in split doses, definitely your fertilizer response will be better, and you will get extra profit or extra output. So is telling that around 2 quintals produce is getting extra. And just for example, 1000 rupees if it is per quintal, then 2000 rupees is your additional return by this 2 quintals extra output. So this 2000 rupees is your extra output, and 300 rupees your extra cost. So net gain, what is net gain? Now total gain minus total loss, that is 2000 minus 300. So 1700. So your incremental benefit cost ratio is 2000 divided by 300. This 2000 is incremental benefit, 300 is incremental cost. You know, benefit divided by cost is benefit cost ratio. So it is 6.67. So as long as it is more than 1, farmer can adopt that practice. So farmer has to, farmer definitely they will be interested to apply nitrogenous fertilizer in split doses. So by this way you can calculate through partial budgeting, you can calculate the effect of or the impact of any particular intervention or small practices. Here 3 terms came. One is gross returns, another is net returns, another is benefit cost ratio. You know, gross return is your production of all your grains per hectare. Then that will be your multiplied by price per quintal. Then production of straw, then price of straw. So by adding this returns from grain and returns from straw, you will be getting gross return, and net returns means if you deduct it from cost from gross returns, then you will get net returns. And benefit cost ratio is returns by your cost. Another example is using chemical control and manual weeding. 2 practices. Chemical control and manual weeding, 2 practices. If you calculate profitability or which practice is more profitable, then similarly, suppose this is for chemical weeding and this is your manual practice. You see, cost of chemical is 500, sprayer is 50 rupees, labor charge is 300, and due to chemical use, you know, chemical is having some adverse effect on physiology of plants. So 500 is a lump sum amount. He has considered that 500 rupees reduction of returns. Just assumption. So your total cost is 1350. So chemical weeding is total cost is 1350, and instead of chemical weeding, if you do manual labor, by using manual labor, then what is the cost? Manual labor, 30 labor is required for weeding per hectare. Assumption. Okay. So if it is minimum 100 rupees, now labor charges is 300 or so. Suppose that the minimum, if you consider even family labor also, then it is coming 3,000 rupees. So your total gain of using chemical, here total gain, why it is showing total gain? Because instead of manual labor, you are using chemical pesticide. So it is gain for chemical, gain with respect to chemical. So in that case, gain is 3,000 rupees. So if you use chemical, then cost is 1350 and gain is 3,000, because you are saving 3,000 rupees labor. So it is gain. So rupees 3,000 minus 1350. So 1650 is your net gain. And in this case, incremental benefit cost ratio is 2.222. So chemical weeding is profitable to farmers. In that respect, okay, you cannot generalize this one for everywhere, but for sake of calculation, I am showing this. From one paper, I have taken this one, that partial budgeting he has done for certified seed production in Eastern Uttar Pradesh. He has taken all the expenses. All the expenses he has taken. Total 7364 rupees is his cost, and decrease return is 0. Total debit is 7364, means total expenditure. And by doing bullock and machine labor, cost reduced 2070, and increase in returns due to your certified seed production, means earlier he was producing grain only. So without producing grain, I mean consumption paddy, he is producing seed, certified seed. So extra return he is getting this one. So total is this one, 14,858. So his profit is 14,858 minus 7364, that is coming 7494. So this is also partial budgeting. Means one farmer, he was producing only consumption paddy. Now he decided that he will produce certified seed of paddy with the technology or support of some organization or some scientist like that. So he adopted and started certified seed production, and all this his expenditure, and by taking up certified seed production, return is not reducing. Total expenditure is 7364, and he is using bullock labor and machine labor, and he is reducing cost by 2070 rupees. And by producing seed instead of grain, he is getting extra 12,788. So his total return is 14,858. So incremental return will be 14,858 minus 7364. It is coming 7494. So this is also partial budgeting. Now come to enterprise budgeting. You know, enterprise that she has given example that a livestock, or maybe a particular crop, or maybe particular two crops. So for a particular enterprise, when you will do budgeting, earlier in partial budgeting we are doing for a particular operation, and here for a particular crop or particular enterprise. Suppose for rice production. So budgeting has to be done from sowing to harvesting and even marketing. So when we will do enterprise wise, it will be enterprise budgeting. How much seed you have to purchase, how much labor you have to engage, from where you will purchase fertilizer, pesticide, then your harvesting operations, then where you will be marketing, some marketing cost will be involved, how much profit you are likely to get, likewise. So all these things, if we consider for a particular enterprise, then it is called enterprise budgeting. Examples: computing cost of cultivation of different varieties of rice, cost of cultivation of other crops which are competing with rice. Suppose rice along with rice, some other crops. Instead of rice, if we cultivate some other crops, suppose maize or like that, then or sugarcane, then you have to calculate the differential returns from both the enterprise, and you have to see the profitability. Means you have to calculate which one is more worthy, more profit giving. So for that you need physical input data, output data, like how much grain or straw you are producing, then prices, market price of inputs and outputs you require. Then for all this, you need to calculate cost of cultivation. Cost of cultivation, can anybody tell what is cost of cultivation and what is cost of production? Yes, please.
Cost of cultivation you have calculated for the per hectare basis, and cost of production is we are calculating on the basis of per plot, how much plot we have.
Per
Plot.
plot?
As 1
No.
acre.
No. So per hectare basis, you are telling cost of cultivation.
Hello,
That's
sir.
right. But cost of production.
Hello, sir.
Yeah.
So cost of production, we are calculating about 1 unit of quantity, sir.
One
A particular quantity.
quantity, a particular quantity. Okay. Can you give example?
Like for 1 tons, how much it cost is required for one.
Very good. Very good. Yeah, very good. That's right. So cost of cultivation is how much expenditure you are incurring for a particular area or per unit area. Suppose for 1 hectare growing paddy in 1 hectare area, how much expenditure you have to incur. That is called cost of cultivation. And what she is telling, cost of production is, for suppose for producing 1 quintal of paddy, how much expenditure you have to incur. So that is the difference between cost of cultivation and cost of production. Cost of cultivation is on area basis and cost of production is per unit of product. Okay. So what are the things that comes under cost of cultivation? So these are the exhaustive list. There may be some other aspects also on very small things also required in crop cultivation. But broadly, these are the items: human labor, bullock labor, machine labor, then seed, manures, fertilizers, irrigation charges, some I think pesticide, here it is chemicals, it is omitted, chemicals. Then you have to work out interest also on these resources. Then some miscellaneous expenses are also there. So that will be, that can comprise some small expenditure. So these all are called operational expenses. And if you add some fixed expenditure, can you give some example of fixed expenditure? What is incurred in I mean cost crop cultivation? You know variable cost and fixed cost.
Yes,
All
sir.
that above items I have given example, that is variable cost only, and there are some fixed cost also. So what are they?
So depreciation.
Argument like that. Some small items are there. So that's a fixed asset, fixed cost. And if we add fixed cost and total cost, that variable cost, all these operational costs, then we will get total cost. Here I have written C2. What does it mean? Can anybody guess what is what I am meaning?
C2 means cost B plus imputed values of family members.
Yeah. That different cost concepts, as per different cost concepts. C2 is highest ever cost that we can think of it or consider or calculate. This is called some modern cost concepts. First one is cost A1. That is all operational expenses. Or I was giving example. Then if we add add to it depreciation and interest on working capital, that comprises cost A1. And cost A2 is if we add rent for leased in land with that cost A1, then it will be cost A2. Leased in land means that from someone you have hiring, you have hired that land, and in exchange you will be giving some money or some crops to him, some amount of crops to him, some quantity of output. So that will be rent. So if we add rent with the cost A1, we will get cost A2. Then what is cost B1? If we add cost A1 and interest on fixed capital, earlier we have taken only depreciation on fixed capital. Now if we add interest on fixed capital, then it will be cost B1. And what is cost B2 then? Now cost B1 plus rent for own land as well as leased in land. Suppose you are not taking in leased in land, but you are cultivating in your own land, so you have to assume rent for that land also. If you are assuming rent for that land also, suppose 1 hectare some 5,000 rupees rent, if you are hiring in, then you have to pay 5,000 rupees, or if you are hiring out, then you will get 5,000 rupees. So for your own land also you have to calculate rent. So if we add rent for your own land and you add it with cost B1, then it is coming cost B2. Then what is cost C1? Now cost B1 plus imputed value of family labor. Because in operational expenses, we have considered value of hired human labor only. But your own labor, family members, if they are also working, suppose even then they are not working for full day, by calculating a one man day, suppose he is working for 2 hours every day. So if he works 4 4 day, I mean 2 hours for 4 day, then 1 man day. So 1 man day will be calculated in that case. Likewise, imputed value of family labor, and that prevalent wage rate you have to multiply with prevalent wage rate. So you will get imputed value of family labor. And when you will be adding this imputed value of family labor with cost B1, you will get cost C1. Then what is cost C2? Now that cost B2 plus that same imputed value of family labor. And nowadays cost C3 is also thinking of. Can anybody tell what is cost C3?
So what is the difference between cost C1 and C2?
C1 is cost B1 plus imputed value of family labor, and
Okay,
C2
okay,
is
sir.
B2 plus imputed value of family labor. And now we see that the difference between B1 and B2. B1 is your A1 plus interest on fixed capital, and B2 is B1 plus rent for own land plus leased in land.
Sir, I have
In-
one doubt, sir.
Okay.
Sir, interest on working capital and depreciation. Sir, how we calculate it in a particular enterprise? Sir, we give some examples, sir. Interest on working
Suppose you are going tail for everything from departmental store or like that Reliance Fresh or maybe some Kirana stores. So finally he will calculate all the items, and he will tell that you have purchased grocery items of 4,000 or 5,000 rupees. Okay.
Yes. Sir, excuse me, sir, your voice is breaking now.
Hello, sir. You are not audible. You are not audible, sir.
My connection is getting up. I don't know why. Um, uh, Allow me to share screen. Praveen. Hello, Praveen. Sumit,
Yes, sir.
allow me to share screen.
Oh, okay, sir. I am host now. Just a minute, sir.
Uh-huh. Patil is also host.
Sir, yes, sir is coming. I'm not getting a.
Yeah, now Patil is host. Padma Kumar Patil.
Yeah, sorry, sir. There has some connectivity issue in here. Sir. Yes, sir. Hello, sir. Yes,
You
yes,
just
sir. I am
allow
audible, sir.
to share screen for everyone.
Yeah, there are some issues, sir. Connectivity issue. That's why.
Yeah, Sumit is now again host.